All right, welcome, Zaira. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you so much, Osei. It's lovely to be here with you.
Awesome. Do you want to introduce yourself to us, please?
Yes, of course. I'm Zaira. I am the founder of Coderoots, which is a NGO and a company, so a social enterprise that works with young people in West Africa, skills them up in technology skills, and then finds them work. Um, I have a background in community development, but I am also by training a software engineer.
Wow, that is so awesome. Like, I really want to dig into how you thought about this idea and how you got here. But I also want to be respectful of your time. So, can you tell us really quickly, like, how you thought about this idea and how you just got into it? Because this is so exciting. It's such useful work.
Yeah, thank you so much. As I said, my background, how I started my career was in community development and in youth work, especially around employability and education. That was within the UK, and I was working with a lot of people working on kind of raising their aspirations, skilling them up. Then about more than 5 years ago now, I had the opportunity to go to the Gambia as part of a trip with a charity to kind of do skills workshops there. And then when I went there, I was really, really struck by just the sheer drive in people there that I was teaching, and then also the kind of hunger to learn. And I really realized how much of an impact I could have in that region. So about a year later, I kind of leapt into technology, which is a whole other story. But I leapt into technology because I thought it was a very useful tool to kind of um, do the things I'd already been doing in community development, but at kind of turbocharge. So I became a software engineer, trained up, and then at the same time set up this project in the Gambia, which is now Coderoots. So it was all about teaching people technology skills and using that as a way of them being able to, like enter the global market, um, and be equal to anyone else in the global market as well. Yeah.
Ooh, man, I love how you just said that in such a humble way because, first of all, transitioning to doing community work to becoming a software engineer, that is not, a walk in the park. Like, oh, I'm just going to wake up and boom, here. So kudos to you getting that done. That's amazing. And not only did you do that, you decided to spread that knowledge around and reach people globally. And so that's another like double kudos. Like that's awesome. I'm really excited that um you're going to talk to us about that because I think a lot of people would love to be able to go global and work with people in other parts of the world, but they don't know how to. So I'm really glad. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about going global. Oftentimes when people talk about that, they're thinking, okay, I want to sell internationally. But can you tell us a little bit about what going global or what it means to go global that's a little bit different from just I ship my products internationally?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would kind of put it into three categories. So the first, which is because it's always the first for me, is people. So when you go global, you also have to look at who are your people. So within your company, who are you employing? Who are your decision makers? And where are you creating jobs? So going global when it comes to people is hiring people from different parts of the world. And it doesn't always mean kind of outsourcing to a different country, but within most countries, you've got a diverse group of people from different places who can bring that knowledge into your company. So if you don't feel fully equipped, don't know how to work in that region or that region, those people will know and they can bring that knowledge into your company. So people is the first part of it. Um, the second part is, well, the money, right? So going global can also be like, where is the money from your company circulating? Where are you buying your supplies? Where do your customers live? And again, coming back to the people, where are you employing people? So where does the money from your company circulate? um, that can have a real impact on, if you're buying your supplies in a different country, that can have a real big impact on your company and the future of it. And then the final part would be, I would say, your goals as a business. Where are you going to? So, for example, you might have a product. Have you thought about how does that product cater to people in the more developing parts of the world? Because those are huge, huge customer bases. If you just take WhatsApp, for example, WhatsApp is used globally, and the vast majority of the customers are outside of America and Europe. So yeah, thinking about what your business goals are and how you're going to cater to a global audience. That's also one way of going global.
I really like that definition and the way you broke it down. So it's not like a simple thing. It's complex, but it's something that you broke it down in such an easy way for people to really say, okay, this makes sense, and this is how I can make this decision for my organization. So for like a founder who's thinking about this, and they have a product that they've been developing, and maybe it's even in market already, what would you say is the first product change that they need to be looking at or thinking about when they're thinking about this idea of going global and serving a global audience?
Okay, so I think if we're looking at tech specifically, I can bring a bit of my software engineering into this, and say that one of the biggest problems I see in tech products is that they're too bloated. Um, and what I mean by that is that they've got too much stuff. They take up a lot of memory on your phone, for example, if it's an app. When you go on the website, there's a lot of things going on, a lot to load. So when you're thinking about catering to a global market, you have to take those things into consideration, because um, data is very expensive in the rest of the world. If you imagine how internet is priced, it's pretty much priced the same globally, but how much someone earns in the UK and the US compared to in the Gambia is vastly different, but they have to pay the same price for internet. So making your tech products more light, maybe even having some offline features, can go a huge way in engaging a more global audience. So that would be my top tip.
So good, so good. And I remember when YouTube introduced the offline options in Nigeria, we were so excited when I lived in Nigeria, because then we knew we'd pay for the data and download whatever we need, and then we can watch it. But now it's a premium offering in, I guess, North America and the UK, but in other countries it's just like a regular offering. So that's helpful to think about that. So oftentimes when people are thinking about hiring globally or outside of these, like North America or the UK, they're thinking I can get cheaper workers. But can you tell us some examples or just an idea about how hiring globally is not just about making things cheaper? You can also create something better, and I know you started to talk a little bit about it already.
Yeah, so that leads on quite well to what I was just talking about. Even that thing that I shared, I've learned from my time spending time in West Africa, learning about what the challenges are there, and then coming up with ideas for products. So bringing back to this whole idea of people, if if you are hiring people into your teams who have that knowledge, you don't have to come up with those ideas, because it's fine for you not to know the answers because you don't know the context. So if you bring in the people that do know the context, that's going to enrich your organization and, as I said, make your product marketable globally. And it can just be one or two expert people that you're bringing in that can bring that knowledge, and make a huge difference in terms of your customer base. So yeah, not just about cheaper, bigger customer base and better products, I would say.
So good, so good. So, what would you say is the biggest mistake that startups make when they're trying to enter new markets?
Um, yes, I'm thinking how to say this nicely. um, I think the biggest challenge that people have going into, I guess you can call them developing markets, is um, uh, maybe what you could call a colonial mindset, um, a mindset that comes in thinking that you already have the answers. So the biggest advice that I could give is, yeah, just be open-minded, be in a space of learning, and really truly seek advice from people who are in those contexts, in those environments, because they will come up with ideas that you will not have thought of, and it will be of benefit to you for sure. So yeah, sometimes people go in because, I guess, like, the pride that they have or the experience that they have makes them think that, okay, I want to, you know I know this, I got this, don't worry. And that's understandable. But if you go in with that open mindset, then what you will gain for your business will be something you don't even imagine right now. So yeah, that's the advice I would give: stay open minded.
I really like that advice. I was watching a podcast with I think Afropolitan the other day, and they said the same thing where they were trying to bring a product idea from Kenya, which is in Africa, into Nigeria, and it wouldn't work the same way. So it's not even just bringing it from these from America or from the UK, but also within Africa, we're so different. So I think that's such a good one. Thank you for sharing that. Um, so let's say someone is thinking about this and they're like, there's so many opportunities in the global south. Um, how do I start? What do you think? What are some things that have worked for you, or any recommendations you have or you've seen to work, where if they're trying to build for the global south, like where they start from, and so that the product is not like an afterthought and it's actually really embedded into the kind of culture that they want it to be embedded into?
Yeah, so I think that obviously for each business that will look a bit different. Again, coming back to people, like, if you're able to bring people into your teams that are from those regions, who can make decisions, they're not only going to be able to give you knowledge and advice, but they'll also have networks, and those networks can help you understand those markets better, penetrate those markets better. Um, so I think that sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming when you're going into a new market, because um, it's a little bit scary sometimes, because uh, you don't know how things work, and you don't know who is the best people to work with. It's totally new. So if you've got people within your company that can help with that, build those networks, that can really help you. Um, and yeah, if you're more a product based company, then when you're designing your products, just remember, um, when you're a tech product, you're automatically global. um, every other product is when it's physical, you have to physically import it, export it. But tech is automatically global, and that's a huge opportunity for you. So then, if you start thinking about how you can make that product accessible for the global market, it's going to have a huge impact for you as a business. So yeah.
I love the way you keep coming back to the people. Like it's important to think about the people. And I really, really appreciate that because I think sometimes we take that for granted. We're like, oh, I'll just Google it or I'll you know, that kind of thing. But people make a whole world of difference. I'm really glad that you keep bringing us back to that. And with that said, my next question is, how are you using AI in the work that you're doing?
How am I removing people?
Exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, just a little note on that. Like, as a software engineer, if I'm doing pure tech stuff, I really, really do use AI a lot. But I also do feel, I know people are saying AI is going to replace people. So far, I don't see it replacing me. I do see it making my life a lot easier and make my work a lot faster so I can achieve more. So in the sphere of technology, literally, what would I might sit with a problem and I will know the general idea of how to do it, but then the actual exact implementation, it will take me a few days to really get it going. But when I have the general idea and I put it into an AI tool like Claude or even ChatGPT, it will do a whole load of thinking for me and help me get to that answer, that solution quicker. So I find it a great tool when I've already got the initial ideas to kind of make things faster. But even sometimes things like I needed to replace like a whole load of words and remove the quotation marks around them. Before I would have to do that manually. Now I just plug it into AI and it makes everything faster. So yeah, I use it a lot. And again, when I'm writing things, got the initial ideas down, I plug it in, it structures it for me. So yeah, AI is really making my life great.
Right, exactly. Agreed. I mean, I do a lot of marketing thing and marketing operations and stuff, and it makes my life easier, but it doesn't replace people. Someone said it makes us like it gives us more time to do the more human things. Because before we were spending a lot of time just trying to do all these manual things, but now we can invest the time in what's important, that human touch, that personal experience kind of thing. But hey, we'll see how it goes. We're just in
Yeah,
the
let's see.
beginning, right? Okay. So for someone who has a tech product and they're listening to this and they're like, I really like this idea, but I'm just not sure. And I'm thinking about it. What would you say is like one thing that they can do today to test out this idea of going global and working with a global community?
Yeah, so like for example, if you're a startup and you've got a tech product, you've started designing it, and then you're now thinking, oh, how did I make this global? You will have friends and family in your network who have lived in other countries, who currently live in other countries, who have knowledge of different global perspectives. Just get them to try out your product, or if you haven't built it yet, chat to them about it. And just those conversations themselves, you will get gold dust for your product, and that's just from the people around you. And then, if you're at a more advanced level in your business, then I'll come back to it again. Hire some people. Hire some people from those places you want to expand into, and your life will be a lot easier.
I love that. Um, so where do we find those people to hire? Because a lot of people are scared. They're scared that they can get scammed or they'll hire the wrong person or they'll hire somebody and there's like a deep fake somewhere. So where would you recommend they go to find people to hire?
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't just say like just go randomly find people on Facebook or anything like that. There are plenty of companies out here who are vetting and recruiting people globally. Coderoots is actually one of them. So you can hit me up if you're looking for any developers or designers. But on the whole, there's a lot of recruitment companies out there that are working globally, very trusted, and you can just work with them.
Sounds amazing. So now we know that we can come to you and find developers and we can test out these ideas. So what's the best way for people to connect with you?
Yeah, just hit me up on LinkedIn. You can just search my name, Zaira, Zaira, Rasool, Rasool, and you should find me, founder at Coderoots.
Wow. Thank you so much. This has been such a great conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your energy and for the great questions. I've really, really enjoyed it. Thanks so much.